Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the July 5th, 2017 edition of the Bible Delight in the Details. I'm J. Lenora Bressler. We tried earlier to broadcast today, but we were having technical difficulties. It just kept shutting off, so we're trying a different time and a different location. We are continuing our look at the Psalms, and today we wanted to look at what's called the Thanksgiving Psalm, Psalm 100, the one that begins with those famous words, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands." It's a very brief psalm, only 5 verses, but what's interesting is that in those brief verses, there are 7 active imperative verbs, meaning that there are 7 things in those 5 verses that we are specifically told to do. We are to make a joyful noise. We are to come into his courts with gladness. We are to sing. We are to know things about God. There are things that we are called upon to do. And why? Well, there are several things that are said why we are to be active in our worship of God, why we are to do these things. And it has to do with who he is, his essence, and what God is all about. He's about his faithfulness and his loving kindness. It's interesting to me that in a book, the Psalms, which, as we have said before many times on this program, is the hymn book of ancient Israel, that we should have a hymn, a song, that actually says, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord." Now, you can argue over whether that actually means noise or sound or whatever, but I like the translation of it as noise, because there are many psalms that talk about we're to sing a new song and sing unto the Lord, but this particular psalm is not talking about doing it eloquently or excellently, but it's talking about doing it with gladness. We are to sing with gladness. We are to make a joyful noise or sound. It's not about the quality here, although I am a huge believer that we should give our very best to the Lord. I think that we should work on the things of the kingdom, whether it's teaching or singing or going out and doing acts of mercy or being good stewards. Whatever it is that we are doing for the kingdom, we should do it with as much and possibly, I would hope, even more passion and dedication and just downright effort than we do our other work and other hobbies, and etc., etc. But it's interesting to me that right, not quite in the middle, but almost in the middle of this book of hymns, we have an emphasis not so much on the quality of performance as the sincerity and the intention behind it. You know, I hear all the time people say, when you perform in church, when you play an instrument or you sing or you speak for that matter, I hear people all the time saying it's not a performance, it's worship, and we shouldn't care about if it's good or not. It's about the intention behind it. I think it needs to be both. I think you do need to give your best effort, and I would hope that whatever you happen to be good at, you find a way to use that talent and that excellence in a way to worship God. But I also understand what people mean when they talk about that. They want to be sure that we're not doing it for the pleasure of man, for the approbation of an audience, but rather we're doing it for the right reasons, and that's to worship God and to bring him pleasure and to be a blessing to him. Have you ever thought about being a blessing to God? He certainly is a blessing to us. Why don't we return the favor? And he seems to love it when people make joyful and glad worship, including singing to him. Something that you might want to consider as you sing, perhaps tonight in the shower or on Sunday morning. Are you singing with gladness and with joy? to the Lord because of who He is. I'm J. Lenora Bressler. Visit me on the next edition of the Bible, Delight in the Details. Have a great night, everyone.